Hey there, everybody. It's Carol Maletta from the Parenting 411, where we deliver information parents need from sources they can trust. I want to hop on here with a little news you can use. Some of you may have followed me back when I used to do news you can use on Thursday evenings. I'm going to be shifting that this season, possibly changing the evening that I do it or sticking with noontime or afternoon. Last week, I hopped on because I did a live because I was responding on Instagram to a conversation, quite a debate that arose from a phone call. There was a recording of a mom calling the police because she came home from work and her two children were fighting. And so there was this, and I have to include a certain point in the story. And the police officer said, "Oh, what do you want us to do? Come over and shoot them." And so that was really, shocking. And so very unprofessional. And so there was that. But aside from that, there was the issue of, well, what did you expect him to do? They're your children. Like that's your job. And so I responded as well. I of course was shocked by his response, but also wondered if children fighting uh, around the house really elevates to a police situation, and then honestly, how risky that could be. So that's where I came down. But for some people reacted to that. Most people agree with me, but some people reacted. So that's what I was responding to. If you want to see the whole thing, it's over there on IG. Just go to my page, the Parenting 411, and check it out. But what that made me do was decide to come on Wednesdays. I'm still working out whether I'll do afternoon or evening or both, just to make sure. But people really wanted to hear what I had to say, wanted to hear more detail about what was driving my opinion about that. And so I enjoyed the exchange. It was respectful. Even people that disagreed with me were respectful. And so that's what made me want to come on periodically and just talk about what's going on, what's on people's minds. And so many of you who follow me over here know that last week I attended the Power Networking Conference down in Houston, Texas, and it was hosted by the phenomenal Dr. George C. Frazier. And so those of you who follow him know that he is the noted authority on networking and forming mutually beneficial relationships to benefit professionally, but also to create social benefits and benefits for the community. And so that's what I really love about him. He's so passionate about that. And so while I was there, I met so many people that really share that passion and that really want to help others. And so many of them, though, have children. Lots of parents in a gathering like that. And so, some of them were just talking about things that they were concerned with. When they heard what I do, they were sharing what their concerns were, about heading back to school and what that's going to look like. And then also, even though we're 3 years out, I guess technically, from the pandemic, they still worry about how their children are doing in school and whether they're prepared, whether they have the skills and tools to really help their children to be successful. A lot of them are concerned about that, right? And then, they're also a lot of concerns about their connection, their relationship with their children, because once school starts and everybody's going back to school, and some parents work at home, some parents actually have to go into an office. Once all that starts, they're just worried about their relationship with their children and how that's going to go. And so I will say, I know that a lot of schools are starting to head back, or probably already have, particularly down in the South. Um, and so, there are a few things that I did that were really helpful to me when my children were starting school. And that was, first of all, get your calendar together, electronic or however, if you like hard copy calendars, whatever, but sync up with the school calendar, all so that those holidays and those teacher work days and teacher development days don't sneak up on you. integrate all of that into your calendar. If your children are involved in sports or other after school activities, extracurricular activities, any organizations that you belong to, social organizations, whatever, integrate all of that into your calendar so you know what you're dealing with. So there will be fewer surprises. There still might be a lot of work to do. You still might be doing a lot of running around, but you know what you're doing. But also, when you take a look at that full calendar, you might start rethinking your priorities too. But you won't be able to do that if you don't know what you're dealing with. So get your calendar straight first. And then the next thing is to start working, getting back toward the routine. If you still have a week or two to go before your children go back to school, start easing back into that routine. Maybe they don't stay up as late as they were during the summer. Start easing them back 30 minutes by 30 minutes or hour by hour, getting them back to the routine. Also, get things set up in your house. I mean, or, organize where they're going to be doing their homework, where they're going to be keeping their books and all of that stuff. Get that worked out so that when school starts, it'll be pretty smooth sailing. And then also, if you already know who your children's teachers are, start preparing an introductory email so that you can reach out to them, so you can put a name to the face, really let them know who you are, let them know you are concerned about, your children's education. You're actively involved. You want to reinforce what's happening at school, at home, that you want to form a partnership with your child's teacher and your child. Because sometimes we leave our children out, where it's not just parent and teacher working together. Your child is an active participant and an active consumer of their education. So don't forget to have your child in the conversation. So those are a few things you can do to get ready for school. Now, regarding the relationships, there are a lot of things that you can start to do. One of my favorites is, and actually I spoke about this today with one of my speakers for the Parent and Purpose Summit. She called it a date. I used to call it special time. You can, and then as my children got older, we called it hang time. But plan those moments regularly, like an appointment, where you're going to spend time with your child. You're going to get into their world, get into their mind. They're going to get into your world and get into your mind, and just spend time interacting. Make sure it is something, doesn't have to be expensive, doesn't have to cost money. You don't have to leave your home. You could be playing a board game. You could be putting together a puzzle. You could be working on a model project, Legos, anything that has you speaking and exchanging ideas and exchanging perspectives. That can be something that really builds relationships. And just plan to be around when your child, at certain points of the day, when you notice that your child comes out of their room, is not on their device or whatever. Be around, be available so that you can start communicating with them and really build those relationships, because that foundation is what can help you when conflict and disagreements arise. Maybe they won't be as severe. There always will be different perspectives that you'll have to deal with. But when you know the other person on the other side, beyond being mom or beyond being your child, and that relationship, the dynamics of the parent telling the child what to do all the time, when you can see the person behind those roles, then it's a lot easier to communicate and really maybe find ways to collaborate and cooperate with each other, because it's stressful. It really can be stressful. And so while I was at the Power Networking Conference, as I was telling you, I learned that a donor really respects, what the Parenting 411 does, and really wants as many people as possible to be able to attend the Parent and Purpose Summit Back to School Edition. They offer to sponsor regular registration. So if you've been following me as I've promoted it, if you've headed on over to wonderful content from 25 speakers, and uh, Actually, I've been told that was already a deal, $97 for 25 speakers. And actually, I kept the price level. I had, this is the second summit that I've done. And previously, we had 15 speakers and it was $97, but we kept the price the same. But now, thanks to the sponsorship and this generous donor, regular registration will be free. You will be able to access the expertise of these 25 speakers who are going to be talking about mental health and self-care, practical parenting strategies, connection and communication with your children, parenting in the digital age, and of course, school success. And I've got to tell you, you don't want to miss these people. I had a conversation today with one of my speakers who's going to talk about how understanding brain health, understanding your child's brain can lead to just revolutionary changes in your relationship. You don't want to miss that. And I also have I have someone talking about literacy. I have someone talking about how to prepare your little ones for school. And oh goodness, I get so excited. I get so excited, and I want as many people to be in this summit as possible. So visit www.parentingpurposesummit2023.com and see all that we're offering, see the speakers we've got, the topics they're going to cover, because here's what I want you to know, that you don't have to be alone trying to figure all this stuff out. I have been there. I know what it feels like to be outmanned and overwhelmed when you have children, especially more than one child. And I had twin sons. And I know what it's like. I know there's so much information out there. There's so many opinions out there. People, lots of people have opinions about what you should do with your children. And as I always say, so, in my experience, the people who don't even have children often have the best advice, and it can be confusing. It can be stressful. And that's why, as I got into this work, I wanted to provide the information that I wished I had, right? I wished I had more information about how to help my children to be successful. I mean, I ultimately figured it out, but wow, I would have loved it for somebody to kind of assemble more of this information, and maybe I would have had less to do, less to go find out. And then just parenting strategies, just figuring it out. I mean, every day is a new day. You can't be prepared for everything, but there's some foundational principles that if you learn those, it really can make parenting a lot easier. So that's why I brought people in who can talk about positive discipline, who can talk about parenting children who have learning differences, learning challenges that are neurodiverse. I also have experts coming in talking about self-care so that you won't be so stressful, you won't be so overwhelmed. I mean, we have got you covered. If you're overwhelmed, we've got you covered. If you're just seeking good information, we've got you covered. If you want a community, if you want to meet other people, meet other parents who might be experiencing the same challenges you are, we've got you covered, because we're going to be broadcasting some special segments in the Parenting 411 community. All you have to do is head on over to the Parenting 411 community on Facebook and join us. But in the meantime, join us for the Parent and Purpose Summit 2023. It's going to be broadcast virtually August 21st through the 25th. And you will have access to all of the content from these amazing speakers throughout the summit. You'll be able to, I understand how schedules can be. You might not be able to watch it in the morning when it's broadcast, but you might find some time later in the evening. So you can be flexible because it is virtual. That's the beauty of it. So by all means, I want you to sign up. It's free now, free registration. Visit Parent and Purpose Summit 2023.com. I hope you're in the room. I'm so excited about this. And I'm just so thankful that now more people are going to be able to take advantage of this. And so if you don't have children, by all means, share this link with your friends who do have children, who do want to find ways to connect with them more deeply, who want to learn how to take good care of themselves so that they can take better care of their children, we've got something for everybody. Okay. So Parenting Purpose Summit 2023.com. Join us. And I can't wait to see you in the room.